I can't hear you. One second.
What's up, Varun? You hear me?
Yes, can you hear me, coach?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, it's after 3 years or
Has it
like
been
four
that
years.
has it been that long?
Yeah, the last one was in 20 mid 2020 during the peak of COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How have you been doing?
I've been good. Um, I I have something that I'll tell you about that I've mentioned it on my channel a little bit, but a lot of people don't know that I've been struggling with my memory.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, we've talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah, but if we talked in 2020, then it hadn't started yet. So it was around 2021 when it started.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's still a thing. And I can feel I'm declining a little bit. So kind of
Sorry
sucks,
to hear
but
that. Yeah.
yeah, it's okay. I mean, my health is good otherwise. It's not painful at all. It
Yeah.
it just I the normal forgetfulness that an average person has,
Yeah.
it's just like that times like two or three. So it's a little bit, but some of the forgetful things that I have are way worse than average or normal. Like someone will sign up at my gym and then I won't remember them at all. Like they'll train like 5 times at the gym and then I'll be meeting them like it's the first time.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so it's not that part is not good. Like the normal walk into a room and not remember why you went there. That's still a thing.
Yeah.
And it just happens more frequently to me. I constantly have to try to remember what's going on, like why am I here? So I watch my channel sometimes, like somebody will comment on an old video and I'll watch the video to see what they were asking me about and I'll learn something from my own video. So it's kind
Oh
of fun.
my God. That.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I don't even remember the moves that I taught 5 to 10 years ago. So or even just 2 years ago. Sometimes I'll forget the moves.
wow.
So yeah, it's one reason. It's not the major reason, but it's one reason why I haven't been as active. So I
No,
still pump
but
out videos, but
that's surprising considering like how consistent you've been with your videos, and I still watch your content, and it's equally amazing as it used to be before.
I
But
don't think so. I think my teaching from 3 to 7 years ago was way better than now. Like I can see the difference. Because sometimes I'll teach the same technique. Sometimes I'll teach a move that I taught 3 4 years ago. Let's say 4 years ago, and I can compare the two videos.
yeah,
And the way I taught it 4 years ago is clearly better than how I teach it now. So, and I don't notice until I compare the videos side by side. So I can watch the old and then I'll go, oh my gosh, like I showed something, I talked about something that I didn't talk about on the newer video. And it just, I think one, I'm a little bit wiser as I've gotten older, but I also, uh, like I said, it's a slight decline. I'm not as sharp as I used to be. And that's just life, I guess. But
yeah,
nothing I could do about it. But yeah, I notice it. Again, I'm me. I just, uh, 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 it's if I have the two videos side by side, I can really analyze and
the
see.
difference.
I could see I guess I would liken it to like a chess player. When you get older, you just
Yeah,
can't come up with the
yeah,
techniques. You
I
can't come up with the
understand.
moves as quick. But if I watch an old game, I go, "Oh wow, that was cool. Like I should have done this or that," and I can't pull it out as quick. So
But do you remember there was one live episode of yours? I mean, it's like comparatively recently, where you were like talking about your current issue, and you also like were telling us, I think that's the last time I was in your live, I mean on your live.
mhm.
And then like we were talking about it, it was like a live, you were like asking our questions and we were like chatting with you and stuff. And then you said like you were going to do a surgery of some sort, like a deviated septum or something, and you
That's
thought
right.
like that was the issue, that
Yeah,
might be the issue, and then like you're gonna be back again and stuff. So we were like kind of happy, and like we wished you all the best for your surgery. And to hear this again, I'm like kind of a little shocked.
yeah. Well, so I do still think that that was the culprit. Um, because that's what I'm just going off of the expert, right? The neurologist said that my brain function was normal. This was a couple of years ago, and so he kept pointing towards sleep apnea. So when I got it tested, I definitely had a sleep apnea issue. Um, I had two nose surgeries this year, like 6, 7, 8 months ago, and it's it's been good. Like I can breathe through my nose now, and as far as I know, my sleep is probably better. Like
Right.
my breathing is better, but um, like I thought was going to happen. Like some people, generally people like to be optimistic. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm not an optimist. I mean, I'm just a realist.
Yeah.
But I always thought that the damage I did to my brain for that long, assuming that that's what it is, the damage that has been done to my brain, it wouldn't make sense to me that it would come back just because
Yeah.
now I breathe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
The
seems
brain
like it
doesn't.
would. Now, some other people say, no, the brain heals. It's going to heal. You're going to get better. Use this, um, alternative medicine that will help your brain,
Yeah.
lion's mane and all the like different supplements that I can take.
Yeah.
People talk about stem cells and all this. I don't know. I don't know anything about that, but it makes sense to me that the damage that was done is probably permanent. And I'm okay with that. Like it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
So like at least if I could stop or slow the degeneration of my brain, uh, you know, that would be nice. So I'm okay with that. Like I'm not greedy. If I can just have it slow or stop, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Um, so, but we'll see. I mean, like it definitely hasn't changed since I got my nose fixed, but I can't say it's getting any worse. But it is
Yeah.
day to day. I still work an incredibly amount, a lot, and the gym is much busier than it was 5 years ago.
It's just a
So
good thing. Yeah.
yeah, it's a good thing. I make less money, but but I have a lot more employees. So I
Yeah.
basically the gym has grown a lot, and I hired a lot more people, and
Yeah.
um, yeah, so it's good. It's good.
Do you, I mean, not trying to, get back to the stuff that you probably wouldn't want to talk about, but do you think like it started from the motorcycle accident? You said
I
like
don't.
you lost a lot of like cranial fluid and stuff, and that was scary as fuck, you know what I'm saying?
It could be. It could be, but I find it odd. Why? Like, I think my accident was about 14 years ago now.
Yeah.
So why would it take 11 years,
Yeah.
10 to
Yeah.
11 years? It's
Show its
possible.
effects.
It it's possible, but when like I said, I went to the neurologist. All the brain tests came back. Function is fine.
Okay.
The neurologist says, "How do you sleep?" He thinks it's oxygen deprivation to my
Maybe.
brain.
Okay.
So basically, it's turned me into a little bit of an old person, a little too
Right.
soon.
Like
So
brain wise. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So
So does you think like the fixed deviated septum is gonna like make you breathe better and like get more oxygen to the blood and eventually
right,
the brain?
right. So I'm sure I get better oxygen. It's funny. I just got hospitalized 2 months ago for appendicitis.
Oh, okay.
I got an appendicitis. I was coaching in Las Vegas at a tournament, and I had to leave the tournament because I was in so much pain.
Pain.
I took it for about 4 or 5 hours and couldn't take it anymore. And
Dang.
I drove myself to the hospital and checked myself in, and turns out appendicitis. So during that, the reason I bring that up is they hooked me up to oxygen. I almost died that night. I had
Jesus.
sepsis. So from the
Oh,
infection,
sepsis.
yeah, I got sepsis, and I thought I was good when I got to the hospital, but turns out they said you've got appendicitis. The next day we'll do surgery, we'll remove it. And I thought, oh, I'm on morphine, everything's fine. There's no pain really. I just gotta sit for half a day to a day until surgery. Well, that night I was like convulsing uncontrollably. Could My body started fighting itself, and I made it through the night though. So either way, it was really scary, very dangerous. I didn't understand what was going on, and finally I I got through it. Like the antibiotics finally
Yeah,
started to fight the infection. It took a long time because the antibiotics came in at 7 p.m.
right.
11 p.m. is when I started to
The effects of,
go the serious effects of sepsis. I was already experiencing sepsis in milder forms from like 3 p.m., 4 p.m. And then 7 p.m., that's when I was in the hospital. They gave me antibiotics. 11 p.m., it went into some uncontrollable. I can't even tell you how horrible the experience was, but I survived. And 5 a.m. in the morning, it finally stopped. I had 104 and a half degree temperature, and temperature came down. Sepsis kind of went away. Then I got surgery at 1 in the afternoon, and then I've been good ever since. So
so does that mean like the appendix kind of bursted and got into the bloodstream?
no, it didn't. It didn't burst. Fortunately, they said that my appendix was in a slightly different location than it should have been. They said normally,
Okay,
the
good for
doctors.
you though.
It's yeah. They said it was kind of protected by other organs.
Uh-huh.
Like it might have been. They said normally it should be in one spot, but it was kind of hidden under organs.
Right.
And but they went in what do they call it, laparoscopically, and pulled it out.
Yeah.
And they were able to get it out without cutting me open. Had it burst, they would have
I think
had
it's
to.
just like a 3 point
Yeah,
incision and then like yeah, to the belly
yeah,
button.
just
Yeah,
like my ACL surgery,
yeah.
just like my hernia surgeries. Yeah.
Jesus. So are you like, I mean, considering like your episodes of like, the health issues and stuff, like, are you like following what's going on in jiu-jitsu since like, the last like,
Yeah, I've definitely taken a step back. Um, yeah, that again, these I think if my brain was working the way it should, I think I would be more aware, but I'm much less aware. I don't even watch. I didn't go to ADCC this past year
yeah.
or CJI. I wanted to go, but what did I have? I had a wrestling tournament or I had something. When was ADCC?
August 19th.
That
Oh
was
no, August 16th. Yeah. 2024. Yeah. Like 4 months ago.
Yeah. See, I don't remember. I was doing something, but I don't remember.
I was there at
Yeah,
ADCC because
I went
now
up.
I live in Las Vegas. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I moved from Cincinnati, Ohio to Las Vegas, and I
Congratulations.
got the privilege to almost see all my jiu-jitsu heroes over there and
That's
see
really
John
cool.
Danaher from a distance and take
Yeah.
pictures with this what's this girl's name? The female prodigy,
Yeah,
Helena Crever.
I know
Helena
who you're
Crever.
talking about. I don't know her name, but I know her.
Yeah.
Like I've seen her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
people
really cool.
people say like she is the illegitimate daughter of John Danaher or something like that because they look
Yeah.
the same and stuff. It's
Yeah.
funny and like yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't like meet Gordon Ryan, but I saw him against like Felipe Pena, and that was like the like a clash of the titans. It was
Yeah,
so good.
it was a
Did
great
you get to
battle.
watch the fight?
Yeah, I did. I did.
That was because like we all know like how Gordon has like systematized like jujitsu and like the half guard passing, where he like changes the angle and like he has a complete like if else tree for half guard passing depending upon where the leg is like high like
I knee shield.
high knee shield, low knee shield with like feet locked, not locked. He knows everything, but still Pena's guard retention
Yeah.
was on point,
Yeah.
and
I
it's just a scrimmage that won Gordon like 2 points, but it was like I just don't understand like because I think Pena sometimes is like pretty complacent because when he had this grappling match against Nicolas Marigali in UFC Fight Pass. he got his back taken and got choked, but Gordon couldn't do anything with him for.
Yeah, I my my I don't remember everything, but the score, the 2-0 score, I understand they got to have rules and they got to draw the lines where they draw them, but
Can
it
you
was,
speak up a little bit? Like speak up a little? Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know if let me see if I can help.
Yeah.
Maybe I can use,
It's okay if you can. That's fine.
well, I have a microphone,
Oh,
so
you
let me
have?
see
Okay.
if maybe I'll switch to the mic and
Yeah,
that might make it
because
better.
the audience wanna listen to everything you have to offer.
Who's listening to this?
I mean, once I upload it.
Oh man.
What? Give
Let's
me a
see.
second here.
Let's see if this works. I'm not sure if it does. But can you hear me? Is it any different?
It's not any different, but I think you're a little bit closer, so I can hear you better now. Yeah.
Okay. You know, I don't, I guess maybe it's not using the mic. I probably need to tell
It's
it.
okay. Like don't stress
Okay.
about it. Yeah.
All right. So the points that were scored for Gordon,
Yeah.
it's not right, in my opinion. Again, if I use wrestling, my wrestling brain, sure,
Yeah.
whatever. Then it's just a huge mistake by Pena.
I know. Yeah. But the thing is, like he initiated the scramble, but
He
ended up
initiated
on the bottom.
Gord. He ended up on the bottom because he's climbing on the back. I
Yeah.
I, I disagree with the. It's just it is what it is though. Jiu-jitsu is a wacky sport.
Yeah.
I rarely ever agree with jiu-jitsu. Um, it's so whacked. The scoring system's silly. But using my jiu-jitsu brain, Gordon didn't deserve 2 points. It's ridiculous. So all he did was avoid his back being taken and ended up on top.
Yeah.
Um, but I also had a problem with Gordon's lack of understanding of the calf lock, um, what people are calling a bear trap.
Yeah. The bear
Uh,
trap. Yes.
yeah, it's just Gordon. Gordon didn't know what he was doing. I'm convinced he didn't know what he was doing. I think this is a perfect example of he's very flexible, so he can get away with something.
Hmm.
He can put himself in a bad position, but to me, his understanding of it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anybody, any average person that does not have flexibility would have torn their knee there. Um, what he did was just not sound, not technically sound.
Right. Right.
It's bad for your legs.
Right.
Shouldn't have done it. To me, it showed that he didn't know what he was doing.
Right.
That's why he kept getting caught. It would happen more than once, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember.
And it
So
also happened in their match at Flow, who's number one, when they were like going for the no time limit thing. He was constantly getting trapped in the bad trap.
yeah. So to me, it's like Gordon's so good, and he is good. He's very good. But to me, that's a lack of understanding. Um, he should have bailed out. I think any normal when I say it's crazy because we're talking about one of the guys is like one of the best, but
Yeah.
a normal high level grappler would have simply stepped around the head, turned the back, stepped on the back of the guy's leg, pulled their leg out. Pena could come up for a sweep if he wants. No problem. You just wrestle out of it. It's not a
Yeah.
big deal. But what he was doing to his own leg was not
Yeah. It
technically
looked
sound.
nasty.
It's
Yeah.
dangerous, and he shouldn't
Dangerous.
have
Yeah.
done it.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever.
But I
I
think like you have the legitimate right to criticize Gordon because he follows your channel, right?
I
I showed
I
you that.
don't know if he follows it on a regular basis. I think he just there was only one time someone sent me
It was me.
some. Was it you? Oh,
Yeah, Gordon follows your. He put that on his story that he was like, he was. I think he meant to show people something else, but it showed in his history, like your channel, like Teach Me Grappling. So I was like, he watches your shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
I doubt that he watches it religiously. I mean,
I
he's
mean,
done so well. financially, who he probably just
No,
in
but
passing.
that guy has a love for jiu-jitsu unlike anybody else. He's all that he knows and thinks about every day is jiu-jitsu. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he watches your, content, for the sake of it, instead of just like scrolling through it or anything like that, because like he knows people, he follows people, and he constantly attacks people too. So, like,
Mm,
whom you would otherwise never know, right? Oh, who's this guy? Gordon's attacking him. Now he's becoming famous, right? So I think like he
mm.
is noticing far more than you would expect him to. So I
Okay,
wouldn't be
maybe.
surprised.
Maybe. I do know I got to finally meet John at the ADCC trial, the West Coast trials. So I didn't go to
Okay.
ADCC, but I went to the West Coast trials. I had a student that was competing. So I got to meet John for the first time. And when I saw him, I walked straight to him and, reached out my hand. And he immediately said, I know who you are.
Yeah.
And he said, I thank you, or something along those lines of for everything that you do,
Yeah.
for
I
your
mean,
for your
you
contributions or
you
something.
are more famous than you are thinking about yourself. You should know that. Like I've met a lot of random people at random gyms, and when I tell them about like teach me grappling. Yeah, I know the guy, but I mean they don't like remember your exact name, but yeah, I know the teach me grappling guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you are creating waves in there, and I called you in one of your live tests like the poor man's John Danaher or something like that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
because I'm probably the only guy who doesn't like monetize everything.
Yeah, and I see a lot of comments on your videos like I can't believe this shit is for free,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
because like you love the sport as much as John does, and maybe you don't have the PhD degree that he has so that he can systemize like the pedagogy and all those things,
yeah.
but you kind of analyze and but I mean, I'm not. I have a lot of. I've met a lot of coaches and I've trained with a lot of coaches, and I for sure don't want to diminish anybody. I love everybody, but some of them do not know a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
a blue belt, and I tell them, no, this is not how. But they think I'm like just saying things to sound smart or something like that, and they don't even get it. But you analyze the sport, you just like isolate and like disintegrate and like you just like break it down to understandable assimilable pieces, and your shit. So like you constantly study stuff, and you're the one of the very first people that taught a simple man how to do a straight jacket system step by step.
mm,
You remember that? Like you showed
nope.
the. Oh my gosh, that is a travesty because we all
Really?
remember that. Yeah,
Well, I don't do it quite like John Danaher. I have my own thing that's a little different.
it's a
But
little different.
well, I believe it is, but it's I my biggest problem is my flexibility level, and as I've gotten older it's even worse. So, but even when I was at my best, I wasn't extremely flexible. So I could never do it quite the way that you'll see Gordon Ryan do it, or the way John Danaher teaches it. Um, so I have my own ways, but
But don't you
yeah,
think like it's actually Marcelo's system that
yeah, oh,
on
definitely,
Danaher
yes,
kind
definitely,
of revolution?
definitely,
Yeah,
yeah. I think Marcelo's the guy that deserves most of the credit, but I could give some credit to the Danaher and the Gordon side when it comes to education and
yeah,
breaking it down for people.
yeah. I mean, he kind of knows how to teach people.
Yeah, no, no, I believe that a whole lot. I mean, they're great. They're both great. I mean, Gordon's a fairly good teacher, um, but I'm just a different personality. I do not do well with John Danaher teachings. So I think he's very smart. I think he's very good. I think he's amazing. I think his
But you need a
contributions are
lot
great.
of patience to watch his videos.
Yeah, and for me, it's not how I think at all. I disagree with, like, I don't think that way. I think that some people can learn. Everybody's different. So
Yeah,
some people it's good for their learning, but some people can't absorb what I do. You know, I'm sure that some people think I talk too much because I think I talk too much. So
No, no.
all the time I feel like I talk too much. But the you know how like people nowadays it's pretty popular. I forget what they call it, where they spar positions and then they learn
Oh,
the spar
ecological approach.
ecological approach. So
No, coach,
like
I just so sorry to cut you off
go ahead.
before you proceed with it. I just don't want you to think what everybody else is thinking about it because they think it's just like positional sparring being like sugar coated with words and like he's just he's just a phony guy, doing
Oh, I don't even know who you're talking about. I
uh
don't even know the guy.
Greg Souders.
Yeah, I don't even know the guy. I
Yeah.
don't know who it is.
So this is one of my questions that I have for you. So we'll cover that
Okay, that's
topic
fine.
later.
I
Yeah.
won't talk
So
about it.
back to what you were talking about. Yeah.
Well, my point is I would well, I can't really continue without mentioning it.
Yeah.
But
That's fine.
I I was just basically going to say that um I'm a little bit more ecological than I am. Um, people talk. I like philosophy, but if you overdo philosophy, and I feel like John Danaher and that, it's a big problem with jujitsu. They go too far with with the talks. I
Right.
do it. I do it a lot with my students, but it's overdone. It gets to a point where and what we end up the end product at the end is a jujitsu student who thinks that technique beats everything,
Yeah.
and they think too much about the detail, and they lose the sight that we are fighting.
Right.
And you know, and I'm not. That's no way. I'm not trying to say that we shouldn't be technical or we shouldn't try, but it's important to me that it's much more balanced than that. It's
Yeah. I understand
I
what
think
you mean.
I think most people think of jujitsu that train jujitsu and they think about the technical approach and this idea that technique beats strength, which is true, but uh,
To an extent. Yeah.
to an extent, and
Yeah.
I think that when you go that way, you end up with a worse product that comes out the end, and that's where I think that the ecological approach, or whatever they want to call it,
Yeah.
this guy Greg,
Greg Souders. Yeah.
yeah, I don't even know who that is, but I know that I think it's Pritt Mickelson, right? Pritt,
No, no.
the guy from Europe.
Yeah.
He
What about
also
him?
one of the like he likes to do that too. Like he's
I
into
think
it.
he does more of the defense and stuff, like nobody like being invincible. And I think like his style is more for the older people who can't like compete like
Yeah,
head on with the young, you know, tough
yeah,
guys. His stuff
yeah.
is like nobody can submit me or something
Right.
like that. Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, like it's all. I agree with all of it. It's you got to have that too. It's interesting. I like Pritt. I've seen a little bit of his stuff, not a lot, but he dives deep into details of some positions like the turtle and defending himself. Um, but the reason I bring him up is I think he's also a proponent of that ecological approach,
Okay, I didn't
and
know that.
I think they're onto something. I think they are onto something on proper training to get the student to learn and advance quickly. Um,
No, if
so
you want me, like I'll tell you what my understanding of ecological approach from because I have watched hours of Greg Sauter's content. So he says like he gives you like three major principles for okay, if you're working on getting the armbar from this position, okay? He says like, okay, find a way to break grips, any kind of connection. If he connects his arm to a hand to the thigh or to, so he gives you the basic idea and he will like guide you towards like getting to the end result without telling you what exactly to do. Um, because like your personality, according to him, for me to like open this water bottle, right?
yeah,
Water bottle. I need to use a certain amount of like a torque, and if I do it too much, it's gonna like fly off. If I so my brain kind of knows, even though I don't know the science behind it, even when I walk or like wrestle or do jujitsu, I don't know
Yeah,
the science behind it, but my brain is tuned to auto calculate stuff. If I push you,
correct.
you know how much of like reactive force I should be giving to counter that. So your brain knows that, and he says like the more you optimize that instinct based off of certain basic principles, you develop the best version of yourself instead of following a set pattern set by some random guy that's not you.
I
So
understand. Yeah,
yeah, so
and
he believes the human body, how it coordinates itself to find the solution for problems.
I agree with that. But we have to have everything. We have to still have both. You have to have someone guide you with the proper way to get through. You don't want to just ecological everything. I mean, if it's we've already found many great solutions to problems,
Yeah.
you still have to teach. But this is getting to my point that I think that if you digest too much jujitsu that is technical, I cringe a little bit when instructors, many black belts, especially, and I do think that John Danaher's the revolutionary that is leading the charge.
Right.
Even though before it was always there, before him it was someone else. But what I'm saying is, people, I see this way too much. That maybe they're teaching the student about an angle on the triangle, let's
Right.
say,
Right.
and how important the angle is. And so then what happens is it creates a bunch of jujitsu snobs that are usually blue, purple, or brown, and sometimes black, but usually it's the blue, purple, brown categories that now swear by it. They think that you have to have an angle in a triangle in order to finish it. And that's good technique. And anything that doesn't look like that is bad technique.
Right, I know what you mean. Yes.
And
Too fixated on one particular thing because
yes,
John Danaher said it, and I'm just gonna do just that and not anything else. But
and
there's
then
like more avenues to.
there's much more to it, and they become snobs about it. And really, I think it just gets them locked into a box, and
And
they
that's
can't
when
get out of it.
ecological comes into play,
Yes, and I think
finding your own
ecological,
way to do, depending on the situation.
depending on the situation, yes, and
Yeah,
and and there's so much more to it. So I don't know everything. I always say I don't know everything. I'm really
nobody does. Yeah,
nobody does, but I know enough to know that I don't know,
yeah,
and but I clearly can see that there's many people who don't know what they're doing.
right. True.
And I laugh because I may know more than them.
Yeah,
I know I do because I
yeah.
see
But
it.
they do not know
They
that
don't
they
know.
don't.
And I look at them and I'm like, they're talking like they know. I see that they don't know. I don't even know, but I know more than them. And I'm going,
Right.
why are you guys crazy? Like,
Yeah,
how do you guys not figure this out yet?
yeah.
But anyway, it's just it's important to have it all, and this is why I like. I mean, we like ourselves, right? Otherwise, we would become someone else. We
Yeah,
would do something different if we didn't like the way we are.
right.
Eventually, if you don't like who you are, you change.
Yeah,
So I like who I am, and I do think I'm mostly correct, even though I'm sure I can learn and I make mistakes all the time.
yeah,
So the most jujitsu is way too technical, and it doesn't need to be that technical. My phrase I use all the time is, "We're not landing a rover on Mars, guys." The calculations don't have to be that
yeah,
precise.
yeah.
Just get in the ballpark and do it,
Do it.
and that brings in a little bit of ecological, and yeah,
But I think like anything shouldn't be too extreme. There should be like a middle ground, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But what do you think about like these new age athletes like Josh Souders, J Rod, and Nicky Rod becoming these world class athletes within a span of 3, 4 years, and they're like beating black belts who have absolutely dedicated their whole lives. So do you think it's like a specific training methodology or like the new wave thing, or how do you see it?
I don't know everybody you mentioned, but
Oh,
obviously like
Nicky
Nicky
Rod?
Rod.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know one of the ones you said. You said Josh Saunders.
Josh
Oh,
Souders, who had his
Saunders.
last match in
Is
WNO with Gordon Ryan, the
is he the
Australian
big?
guy.
Is
Yeah,
he the real big? Yeah.
buff
So like,
guy.
what was his background before jujitsu?
I think nothing or some like I don't know football. I don't know. I didn't
Maybe like
research
rugby or something.
rugby or something from Australia. So there's
Yeah,
obviously no wrestling over there. So
yeah. Well, again, I think here's my opinion. As the sport keeps evolving and getting better, not evolving in that way in technical, evolving as in there's more money in the sport.
more money in the sport. Yeah,
It's gonna it's growing. That's what I meant.
yeah,
As the sport keeps growing, there's going to be more athletes, and I think a lot of people don't understand this. That like, first of all, jujitsu is so small. Like, everyone thinks it's big because they have 5 jujitsu schools within 15 minutes of their driving distance. So I
yeah,
think jujitsu is big, but the reality is, those 5 schools have a bunch of guys that work. One guy's a doctor, one guy's a police officer, one guy's a carpenter, another guy just works in an office and types.
yeah.
Like
Athletes,
these are not athletes. These are just regular people.
right,
They're not athletes. There's
right.
nobody in jujitsu, people. Nobody does jujitsu. And when I say nobody, I mean it's infinitesimally small.
Yeah,
These are not the best athletes.
yeah,
Now, when you reach the this guy, this Josh guy, and Nicky Rod and all, no, these guys are great athletes.
yeah,
So now we're finally getting really, really, really good athletes.
yeah,
I don't know why people don't understand this. Like Bo Jackson, if Bo Jackson was trained wrestling jujitsu since he was little,
yeah.
Bo Jackson would be a world level competitor.
Right,
People don't understand the level of athlete.
right.
It,
So it's
I
just them. Yeah, yeah,
it's not me. Like I'm not that. I'm absolutely average.
yeah.
But
So you mean to say you could be a better jiu-jitsu guy than they are, but they could still be better athletes and still like outperform you in a performance-based setting?
it's possible, yeah. It's
Yeah, because
possible.
Nicky Rod almost got Gordon Ryan in a choke in the EBI rule set, but
He probably would have had the time not run out.
yeah, correct.
He,
Yeah,
yeah.
Gordon tapped, but it was just like after the
He was
time
like, get
expired.
off me. Yeah, he was like, get off me. Stop.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like these guys that are really, really high level athletes, I don't think it's necessarily a methodology. I mean, you don't need to know everything. You don't have to have what I have.
right.
And I don't know everything. That's not what I meant. But you don't have to have like a million different techniques. Like, and that's kind of what I'm for. I'm the coach I can tell you a lot of different things. But
Right,
you don't need that for competition.
right.
Competition, you don't need it. So the highest level wrestlers, they aren't what people think they're geniuses. And I'm
Yeah,
like, no, they're not. They're just really good athletes who have trained really hard, and they have several good series of techniques that they follow,
yeah,
and they have proper positioning so you cannot attack them and
yeah,
you cannot get them in your game. They
yeah,
stay out of it. They stay within their game in good position,
yeah,
and that's all they do. It's not that difficult. I
yeah,
make it's a joke, but in my own room, I'll tell guys all the time. It depends on what the position is, but I'll say, guys, stop thinking that everything is so dangerous. I go close. I go, guard doesn't work. It's a joke. It's not
yeah,
real.
yeah,
Of course, I don't believe that.
yeah,
But I tell my students, I go, guard doesn't work. When you're on top and you're inside the guy's guard, the guard doesn't work. It's not
yeah,
even there. I
yeah.
go, stop believing the guard works. If you
Right.
think the guard works, they're
Yeah,
going to get you in an armbar. They're
yeah,
going to get you in a triangle. I
correct.
go, when I'm in there, I believe that my position's stronger than yours. You know, uh, I don't believe that rear naked chokes work when
Right.
someone's on my back.
Yeah.
I believe a rear naked choke is a terrible move. If a
So
guy
you
goes for
mean
a
to
rear
say
naked
just
choke,
don't mystify techniques to a point
yes,
where it's like, oh shit, somebody got my back, I'm done. right? To
Yes.
just like demystify, debunk stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Very important. And
Right.
when you think this way, you start to realize, and you learn. You have to learn too. You can't just
Yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
But what happens is it all falls away. You know, the mystical Rickson Gracie with closed guard. He's dangerous. He's
Yes.
dangerous.
I was
But
about to bring that up. Yeah. Go ahead.
he's dangerous. But the moment, what was the guy's name? He gets out of the armbar. The guy he just fought.
Oh, Bryce Mitchell.
Didn't he get out of a really tight armbar?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you get out of the armbar, or same with Vitor Belfort, John Jones. Maybe a hyperextension of the elbow, but he gets
But
out.
I wouldn't consider that a good example because Vitor was so fixated. He did not get under the leg and spin and get John in a belly down. It would have completely snapped. He could have like completely incapacitated John with an
Maybe,
excruciating pain. You know what I'm saying?
maybe, sure, maybe. But my point is, like, once you get out of their move, and then it kind of goes away.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, oh, they're human now,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
And one of the most amazing ones that I just saw. It's funny, the fight happened a while back, but I never saw it until I saw the Instagram clip. Who is the guy's name? There's a guy in the UFC. They got armbarred by a Brazilian, and he was getting his elbow broken. He broke his arm.
Jacare Sosa.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Oh
It was a
yeah.
lightweight.
Yes, Tony Ferguson
No.
with Charles Oliveira, like completely bent the opposite way, right?
No, it was, yeah, like that. But he then got out of the armbar and proceeded to beat the shit out of the guy with his broken arm and ended up winning the fight in the next round. It's the greatest MMA grappling comeback from, in my opinion, I've ever seen, where the guy
Wow.
gets his elbow hyperextended, what I would call broken,
Yeah.
and then it's almost like it happened so fast that he just went, well, it's broken. I might as well keep fighting
Yeah.
because it's already broken. And he ended up escaping the armbar. Who is this guy? This guy,
Wow.
man, that was incredible. But what I'm saying is like, once you get out of that submission, now the guy, he's human now.
Yeah.
All of the
The
mystique goes
mystification
away.
wears off.
Yes.
Do you, but do you know such a thing happened in jiu-jitsu too with Jacare Souza and Roger Gracie? Roger snapped
right.
Jacare's arm,
Yes.
and he was like, "Okay, I'm just
I
gonna tie it
remember.
in my belt," and then
Yes.
beat Roger.
Yes.
And that is, in my opinion, like a almost like Mission Impossible. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Roger.
I think it's interesting because I don't think I have the will to go through what they did.
Yeah.
But I would say the guy, even more than that, is Vinny Magalhaes.
Oh yeah.
Vinny Magalhaes letting
But
Craig
he
Jones.
didn't give him the angle. Like he gave his shoulder.
I'm not talking about that one. I'm talking about Craig Jones.
Oh yeah.
With
Yeah.
the heel
Pop,
hook.
pop, 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 snap.
Yeah. His ankle was spun around, and he's acting like it's not even, like it's nothing.
You know what's even worse? Did you see the fight between Mikey Musumeci and this guy named
yes, that Sambo guy or whatever, right?
Right?
Yeah, and same thing. These guys, I think sometimes when you break someone's limb, this is why everybody argues that chokes are better. But when you break someone's limb, you almost don't want to break it fast.
Yeah.
You almost want to break it slow.
Yeah.
Because when it breaks really fast, like pop, and goes the wrong way, the pain happens. But now that it's broken, there's almost no more, there's all this give.
Yeah.
And to the joint.
Yeah.
And now they're like, well, the damage is done, so why should I tap?
Right.
Tapping out is like, please don't
do this to me.
Arm. Do this.
But it's already happened. It's
already happened.
Going.
So,
yeah.
If you already did it, then I guess I'm gonna try to get you back now.
Right.
But
that I think is another level of mental fortitude. Because I have a shoulder issue where my shoulder comes out of the socket often. and the pain is so paralyzing that I literally stop. I can't even talk.
Yes.
And then it goes back in, and then oh, I get my fucking soul back
Yeah.
inside my my body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to just
Yeah.
like imagine continuing fighting with that kind of an excruciating pain, I think is
It's next level stuff. I've had my elbow hyperextended in matches, but not like the other way. Not
yeah,
like going like boom.
yeah,
It's more like it's stretching out and it just goes tick tick tick
yeah.
as you pull out. But I've never had it that bad. But
I do not know if you watched Gordon Ryan's like systematically attacking the armbar, which he advertised after this Patrick Gaudio match, because he said like he was gonna get him in an armbar, and then like he in BJJ Fanatics.
okay.
So he tells you in that series how to break somebody's arm so that they can never fight you back after that, irrespective of how tough they are. So he doesn't believe in the thumb up and like pulling the
Mm-hmm.
arm and raising the hips like the regular way. He
Mm-hmm.
does palm up, raise his knee, and then break it sideways. So
Yeah.
it's like breaking this finger like this and like this,
Yes.
right? So he
Yes.
says in the ladder, it's gonna break so like catastrophically that the guy is incapacitated
Mm.
for good. So and also that's why he emphasizes Kimura over like arms like straight joint locks, because it creates spiral fracture, and that gets into your brain
Yeah.
like unless you're on cocaine or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah, I understand that. I talk a lot about palm up and versus thumb
Sideways.
up.
Yeah, yeah,
It really depends on the positioning, but I can understand what he's doing and what he's talking about. Um, so it has a lot to do with the angle at which the arm is coming out. I always say if the arm's stretched directly
I've
in
said
front, I'm always palm up.
palm
It's
up,
always palm up. And if he's teaching palm up from a perpendicular angle,
perpendicular.
then
Yeah,
you got to drive it in towards your hip, yeah,
yeah.
or your thigh,
Towards your leg, like you
yeah,
break it over the thigh instead of
yeah,
like the hip. And
yes,
I mean, I'm using it, and I get taps like this, but I don't have to like literally like hold my breath and like raise the hip and stuff. That was
yeah.
like boom, up, stop, you know?
The other part of it is a reality that you can hurt your balls in an
No,
armbar.
true, true,
So
true.
it's sometimes a lot of times it is better to go against your thigh
Yeah,
rather than straight,
right.
depending on where your junk is.
Yeah,
So yeah,
that's true. You hurt yourself sometimes when you go for crazy arm
it
bars.
just depends
Yeah,
on where it is. That
yeah,
I always tell people, just squeeze your knees as tight as you can so
yeah.
that you don't involve it. But it depends. So
Do you like watch Henry Aiken's stuff? I It's like so there are certain details
he's
that he
good.
showed.
I've seen the short clips of his BJJ Fanatics. He does a lot of the similar stuff I do.
Yeah, yeah.
He does. He and I agree on the rear naked choke defense. So
Oh yeah, to the weak side, and then like
yeah, we
put
always
your
look we always look towards the
towards the
big
choke
side.
now. Yeah,
I don't believe in doing this.
yeah. No,
I've
no, no,
I've
no.
been talking about that for years and years. Do not pull the choke down.
Yeah,
I see high level guys still getting rear naked choked,
yeah, yeah.
pulling it down.
Because
So it's
his philosophy is Hickson's philosophy of connection. He says, do not put your chin down because that increases the connection.
yes,
So he says, give your
100%.
neck and move like
Yes,
Hickson. Like,
yes,
yeah, just don't, because he says when you get
he's right.
finished, it's because of the proper connection of his chest to your back. So as long as you can disrupt the connection, the choke is not gonna work. He said like he literally got under like Hickson's back and he does this to Hickson, and Hickson is like, and
Yeah,
he's like, I'm trying to rip this motherfucker. I'm like, he was like, beyond a certain point, I was like, fuck Hickson, fuck my coach. I'm gonna rip this motherfucker's head off. And Hickson was,
yeah,
and then he got on and he
yeah,
was like, what the fuck's going on? And then he was like, no, it's like the connection, and like, like just don't let the connection happen, you know. So he was like, he, said the way Gordon tapped with his chin down to like Nicky Rod. I mean, he tapped after the bell. He told me, I mean, because I used to talk to him like how I talk to you, and he said, if it was Rickson, I guarantee you, I put my money, my belt, my house. If Nicky Rod gets him in a completely sunken rear naked, he is not tapping. Nobody can tap that motherfucker. And I'm like, I don't want to start this conversation again because I've talked enough about Rickson to people, and because he spent so many years with Rickson, and he is one of the most respected coaches. Because I train at 10th Planet with I mean, I don't train there. I do the open mats with like Andy Varela and stuff, and he visits. And everybody is like, oh, very respectful, and like they ask him like how even Andy Varela and people like that. So if he says
You're with
about
Casey, huh? Casey Halstead.
Casey Halstead, yeah.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll tell him next time.
Yeah, tell him I said what's up.
I think I talked to him about you, if I'm not wrong. I don't remember
Yeah.
what happened.
I met Casey years back. Can't remember how long ago, but probably about 9 years ago. He had a 10 Planet school in Orange County. I think he was 10 Planet OC or something like that. And that's when I met Casey first time. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice guy, really good guy.
Yeah, he's a nice, yeah, everybody says that.
Very open-minded.
Yeah. And even like John Denher says like he's my best friend. Like he an Instagram post, because like every time they come to Vegas to train, they train at 10th Planet facility like with Casey Huston and stuff. So coming back to what I said, so I was talking to Henry Akins, and Henry was like, I love Gordon, John Danaher, that apart, but the real essence of jiu-jitsu is lost. Like Rickson's jiu-jitsu, these guys do not know how to escape positions.
I'm in full agreement with Henry. I think Henry is on the right track. He and I have converged in the same spot. I figured it out on my own independently. I used to talk about pushing my opponent's head to the other side.
I saw that, like this.
Yeah.
To the wrong side,
And that video was all about that connection. I just don't use the same language, but it's the same thing. We're doing the same thing differently. In order for a guy to squeeze, you have to have your head on the choke side. Yeah. It cannot be like this and have much power.
No power.
Work. Yeah. So you have to take it away and move it to the right place. Usually look towards the choke and fall away.
Yeah.
But now there is an equalizer that I'll mention that when you said Henry mentioned if Rickson was caught by Nicky Rod, he would not get choked. I agree.
I mean, like prime Rickson, not the Rickson now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I agree mostly.
Yeah.
The problem is we can never say 100% he would get out.
It's hard to believe.
That's not right. So I know he might say he believes that, but the right thing to say is 9 times out of 10 or 8 out of 10, you would escape. Because why is it not 100%? Well, obviously we know why it's not. But, But because you can't be perfect, nobody is. But the body triangle is the X factor. Yeah. And the body triangle,
because now you're fighting two opponents, the body triangle and the choke,
It's the one. See, with hooks, easy.
It's different.
Easy. If hooks are in, it's easy to escape.
To disrupt the connection, chest to back connection. Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
The problem is the body triangle is sufficiently strong enough in most cases to stop the rear naked choke escape. In most cases.
Yeah.
It can. I don't mean in most cases it will.
Yeah.
In most cases it can.
Better than the hooks. Yeah.
Yes. But you can still use what I and Henry Akins use and Rickson uses to avoid rear naked chokes. But the body triangle does add a complication that makes it a little bit difficult, but with good technique and knowing how to rotate. 1, do not put your chin down. 2, do not pull. When you pull, you're adding to the connection.
Adding to the connection
and
with your arms.
You also make your body shape wrong.
Yes.
You become much more flat.
Yeah.
As opposed to round.
Yeah.
Instead of so you can twist.
Yeah.
When you either raise your arms or drop your arms, and you can roll a lot easier. And
Right.
even with a body triangle, a lot of times you can slip just an inch, and that inch will help you find that pocket. And the person with the rear naked now can't finish without adjusting. And as they adjust, you take another inch, and eventually you escape.
But actually, the body triangle becomes more of a problem when you get into a rear naked choke situation from the overhook side, because
Mhm.
underhook side you could just, because Nicky Rod says when the choking arm knuckles faces the ceiling, that's when the problem is. When it faces the ground, you could break the connection. Like in the
Mhm.
weak side, it just with your body. Even if you had the body triangle, if I could just like place my leg, just like how Henry says, and use the weight distribution to just like make your head heavy, and they cannot bring you back into the center, you could still like escape. I mean, even though you don't escape the position per se, you could still escape the danger of the rear naked choke per se. But when you fall towards the overhook side, now you're trapped in a cage where there is no opening. Here there's opening in the weak side. Here there's no opening. So now you have the first thing that you have to address is the body triangle. If they apply the body triangle. So John Danaher says like there's like four types of body triangles in terms of tightness. One is like locked, and the leg is outside. The knot of the body triangle is outside of your body, and then it comes inside and goes to the
Mhm.
outside direction where it's like the weakest, like X now, right?
Mhm.
From this to this. So he literally like tries to suck in the knee, and then like just try to get access to the foot and pull the foot, so the body triangle, which is like this, becomes like this. And now
Yeah.
you have rotation. So now even if you just like switch back and forth between the from the hands and between the hands and the legs. But that's why Hickson's philosophy is like, do not get to the overhook side. So that's why
Mhm.
he always has a like a side kickstand kind of thing, and he always forces you to fall towards the underhook side where you could execute the escape better.
Yeah, I hear all that. When you're saying overexcited, what you use the 10 planet language would be strong side,
Strong
or
side, yeah.
or
Sorry, strong side.
yeah, that's okay. Same thing. So we know
Yeah,
we're talking about the same thing. But on strong side, you have option of belly down, so you can go belly down.
yeah,
The problem is sometimes the body triangle is sufficient at stopping you from going towards your
yeah,
belly,
yeah,
but it's it's possible, but it's also possible to still rotate belly down. It isn't my preferred method.
yeah.
I always want to fall towards weak side when dealing with the rear naked, but there's definitely technique in there to get towards your stomach.
Right.
And it's not, I'm not claiming it's easy, but it's still very, very possible if people learn. There's little tricks
Yeah,
in order to do it. Um, I think the hardest part is when someone does not activate their hips with the rear naked choke. Sometimes when they rear naked choke, they
it's
will
just this.
activate the hips,
Yeah,
and other times they're crunching. If someone crunches, it can be very difficult to rotate.
yeah,
But a lot of people opt for an arch to finish the rear naked,
yeah,
especially when their arms are fatigued.
yeah.
They activate their body
Body.
and their hips,
Yeah,
and that allows a room to open. Like if I crunch and someone pulls and arches,
yeah.
I now can open and turn towards
Right,
my belly,
right.
and that a lot of times that gives you that little inch
To
that
disrupt the
or
connection. Yeah,
to disrupt it. And then now as they try to regain, you end up in this spiral. You're both
yeah.
alligator rolling,
Yes, yes.
facing each other, and
Right,
it favors the defender, not the
right.
offense. It
Hmm.
favors the defender.
Yeah,
Um, I wanted to mention the legs. It's more important. My feeling is to attack the feet rather than the choke. I don't teach this, so I have two free hands.
yeah,
most of the time I'm grabbing legs anyway.
Legs.
So the moment the hooks go in, I'll be grabbing legs. The moment that it keeps you out of arm bars,
Yeah.
keeps you out of, it's better. Putting your arms up here just allows for possible arm bars down the line.
Uh-huh.
To me, your arms should be much more focused on the hooks
Yeah.
and the body triangle.
Yeah.
So and not fear the rear naked choke
Yes.
so much, because the moment a guy goes for the rear naked choke, he's relinquishing his control. If he
Yeah.
has a seatbelt, the seatbelt is that connection.
Yes.
And if he attacks
Right.
and goes for the kill, it's almost he's letting go of his upper body control. And a
Right.
lot of times, especially if your hands are working towards legs, they can help relieve some pressure.
Right.
You just need a little bit. I agree. I would rather be on weak side, but if I'm on strong side, I wouldn't say I feel equally good, but I still feel very strong.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
but it's not easy. I don't want to be there. We should never give our backs, but
Be
you
there in
never
the
know.
first place. Yes.
Yeah, we shouldn't be there, but it's not nearly as dangerous as it once was, or the way most people think it is. And
Yeah.
the athletes right now are still losing left and right on
Yeah.
to the rear naked choke.
Really naked choke.
And
Yeah.
they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be losing that bad. I
Yeah.
agree with Henry. More people should be escaping if they had better defense.
Yes, but the way he was talking about, like the way Hickson escaped his, like, especially with the gi, this one, he was
Yeah.
like, he said, like, I wasn't going easy. I was like, no respect for you now. I've been trying to,
Yeah.
choke you, and finally I got this on you, because like I think he was like letting him do that, and now I'm gonna rip the shit out of your neck. I'm gonna
Yeah.
kill you. You tap. I don't care if you're Hickson and you never tapped in your life. You're tapping now, or you're going to
Yeah.
sleep. He was like the back,
Yeah.
and he said, like, the more he did that, Hickson was like kind of deflating his neck.
Yeah.
And I was like, shouldn't he be dead by this time? And then he escaped,
Yeah.
like his arms like blew out, and then like he was like, what the fuck? He was like,
Yeah.
this is not real. This, like, you apply your logic and all this stuff. This guy is unreal. I talked to Ryan Hall about it. I trained with him in Virginia for a little, and he was like, yeah, like I've had like friends train with him, and they said like this is unreal. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna name that guy's name. He's an Asian looking guy, American, but he does good, ADCC guy. Champion. He went to train with Hickson, okay?
Mhm.
And Hickson was like, take my back, put your hooks in. And then you know what he did? You know what Hickson did?
Mhm.
Everybody thought this was in 2013, when Hickson is like 55, something like that. And everybody was like on the walls, like watching what's gonna happen. Is this the first time you're gonna see Hickson? Hickson just like grabbed him like a backpack, off his back, and then like armbar him. And this guy was literally in tears, like literally he was like so upset, and he just like walked away, like walked out of the gym. And then like people had like say, hey, it's okay, but it's just training and stuff. And he was like,
Yeah.
I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. Like he basically felt like all his years of training was like waste of his life and stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, this is the case with Hickson, with anybody. And I was like, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, what a
He,
travesty
he,
that he didn't get to compete at the highest levels.
yeah. He's great. I mean, he still is. I mean, he's one of the best. So
Yeah,
I I I I understand. Even though I haven't trained with Hickson, I understand. But
yeah.
I've trained with lots of good guys, and
Maybe you should
I
go down
felt
to
it.
like Hickson is still doing. Like, I have my friend Jack Toffer, that trains with Hickson. Like I can like hook you guys up, and you might want to like go and train and see what's up with it.
Yeah.
I mean, now he's like has Parkinson's, and like now he's
Yeah.
just like, so
Well,
I don't.
I'm not even rolling. I don't even
Yeah,
roll anymore.
yeah,
I
yeah,
just teach.
yeah.
I stopped roll. I mean, I rolled like I did one roll. I put it on my channel like I don't know. What was it 6 months ago?
6 months ago.
There was a guy that just showed up. He's a little bit smaller than me. He was a black belt, but uh, I didn't know who he was or whatever. But my student challenged me. He said, "Hey, can I see you go with him? That way I can see how it will looks." And
These
like,
are the worst fuckers ever. Yeah,
yeah. So, but I also don't want to be like I don't want to say, I didn't want to decline.
Decline. Yeah.
And I
The
also,
OG in you.
but part of me also, my ego is greatly diminished.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, important for everyone.
I think with
And
age and maturity. Yeah.
with age, maturity, my ego has dropped to a point. Well, one, I would always roll with people, but as long as I was healthy enough to do it. But I also didn't really care of what would happen, and so I rolled a little there. But I don't roll, like, I don't like. I will do situation like what Rickson will do. Like,
Yeah.
here, take my back, try to choke me. I'll do
Mhm.
that because I can control the parameters. I actually had a student, brown belt student. He was showing me a position, and I kind of showing him how I would get out of it, and then it turned into a little mini roll. A lot
Yeah.
of people
Yeah.
go
It
through this,
happens.
and I I probably could have hung on a little longer, but I tapped. He
Yeah.
had me in this inverted triangle, and I was kind of stacking him, and
Hmm.
it lasted a little while. We were fighting for maybe 45 seconds to a minute
Right. Right.
with me in the triangle, and I didn't want to pick him up, slam him, or do anything like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I, I would feel like I was mostly there, and I also had the voice in my head saying, "Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Like, you're
Just.
doing
Yeah.
this. This is all ego."
Yeah.
And so I just tapped, so
Yeah.
I could get out and go, "Good job,"
Good
and
job. Yeah.
feel good that my student, who owns a gym and teaches students, he, he got me in the triangle. Good job.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wanted to feel that. And there's a good feeling in there, even though the competitor part doesn't like it. The human being likes it.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. That comes with age and maturity, and like being in so many fights, so many injuries, unwanted stuffs,
Yeah.
and yeah, and also like speaking of the Hickson thing, like before I get back to that, does do you like emphasize this particular thing? Because I see this happen all the time, and I just like literally walk away. If I can't like tell the guys what to do because certain people won't listen to you. There's the okay when you're in the weak side, if that's how you understand this, like underhook side or weak side, and then people do this overhook or strong side defense of like this
Yeah.
sets you up directly for an armbar, like the Fabricio Verdun versus Walt Harris case. You understand what I'm saying? You're on the
Yes.
weak side, and then you flip the arm over, and then
Yep.
they're just gonna flip their leg over, and like you're just setting yourself for the armbar. If you do this from the overhook side, they cannot do because the leg is stuck under you, like your body and the floor. Like his
Yeah.
leg is sandwiched between your body and the floor, so he can't flip. So you can just escape that. But a
But
lot
what
of
are you
people.
asking?
So like, do you emphasize that? Like like put a lot of emphasis on like don't do that. Like there are certain things that.
I disagree.
Okay.
If I'm on weak side, I can
Hmm.
move the arm over. I just cannot move the arm over and let you frame my neck. The proper way to do it is move the arm over, climb and grab the tricep. Now there's no arm bar,
Okay.
and the arm bar goes away. And
Okay.
so there's no arm bar, then you have a great escape on that side.
It's just
Yeah.
like climb. Okay. Yeah. Makes it heavy. Yeah.
It the point is when the elbow
Right.
goes past your neck,
Right.
then they can push and pass the leg over
I
the head.
understand what you mean. Yeah.
If you when you move the arm over, you cannot be here.
Yeah.
You have to move the arm over here and climb.
Frame of
And
climb.
then now that you hold it, you can fight the hooks out, turn.
Yeah.
You have a Dars. You have
Nice.
yeah. It's. I think I have that on my channel. I think I should. I don't remember, but
I mean, you probably would. Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't notice it properly.
But
Yeah.
but I just was showing one of my students 2 weeks ago. Um, he goes, "So what do you do?"
Hmm.
And I said, "When the guy moves my arm over, I fight his hands, I retract my elbow, and now I armbar him." So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? If I'm on
Yeah.
the back,
Yeah.
but but you must know where the fight is fought.
Yeah.
The but the other thing about the armbar attack, how can I say this? The I make a joke. I'll make a joke. Arm bars don't work.
There you
Why?
go. That's how you start the conversation. And people gonna be like, that's how you make the people interested in the conversation.
Yeah.
Arm bars don't work. Prove me wrong. Change my mind.
Yeah. So if you know the positioning and you know how to control legs
Yeah.
and toes, Wim de Pooter, you know this guy? Wim Wim de Pooter. He's a black belt from somewhere Europe, like Switzerland or something.
Oh, okay.
He's a he's got an interesting escape for the back, which is brilliant, and I use it religiously.
Wow.
Where he grabs the toes. I think I showed it on my channel.
Maybe,
So,
maybe I should.
and
Yeah.
I anyway, uh, I don't worry too much, but I don't think arm bars are real. I think they're fake. Obviously, I'm joking.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Obviously,
Yeah. And also like I saw I was like when I saw armbar defense for the figure four defense, and I was like very
yeah.
interested because I have
You
seen
don't.
Henry's. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't remember the video, but I know what you're saying.
But
Like the figure
I'll
four
explain
did.
what you did so that you know what you
Yeah.
did if you don't remember. You don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna explain everything. So, when the attacking arm is being like defended by the defending arm, and then like so you were like showing stuff like if you could see the pad of the thumb or the
Oh yeah,
index,
yeah, yeah. Palm
yeah,
strike.
pop, and then
Yeah.
but Henry has I mean I'm not like comparing these two by any means, but I'm just like wanna know what your thoughts about. So he just like goes under, like threads under, and like grabs his own stuff, and then like does this kind of thing.
Yeah.
It puts a torque, and then like you just like retrieve the arm and something
Yeah.
like that. But
Becomes
sometimes when it's
becomes
like
like an Americana. Yeah.
almost like an Americana, yes, correct.
Yeah.
And also, he one of the things that I saw was really mind-boggling because it's like pure Hickson's like weight distribution stuff. So when you had the Superman grip, right? He was like, don't try the grip at all, just move the elbow, tuck it under your armpit, and then like once you get it like wrist deep, like wrist on wrist, and then he was like, just pretend like you're diving into a swimming pool.
Mhm.
Uh,
You good? Can you hear me?
hold on. Yeah. I don't know what's going. Yeah. So he's like pretend like you're diving into a swimming pool, so your head leads instead of like doing this with the armbar where you lead with your hips, and that's when you mess your back up. So he says like and then like, oh, this way it's how I'm like, I did that with the strongest guy, and then it was like the arms separated like magic. So he's like, this is how you get the access to all the strong muscles, and then
Mm.
like lead with your head like you're diving into a swimming pool, like I was like, wow. And
I assume he got near the wrist.
yeah, got near the wrist and
Yeah.
this way, and
Yeah.
boom, it just magically separated. And also like I like the idea of somehow getting to the three-quarter juji, like when you have both the feet crossed above the shoulder. So now, even if you cannot like separate the arms, you could just like pull him over, and once you get like sufficient space, you could just like lock up a triangle. Because if he tries to go for a hitchhikers, he cannot, because like the feet are crossed above the shoulders, so the
Yeah.
shoulder is restricted. If he tries to stack you, he's gonna like you're gonna catch him in a triangle. So the defense for if somebody gets you in that, you know what you should be doing according to Gordon? It was like super high level. You should pretend like you're stacking him so that he opens his leg, and then boom, go back to the hitchhikers.
Yeah. And you can there I don't know what the names are. I have it on my channel. There's the escapes there where I push the leg off the so when a guy goes what I guess what they're calling three-quarter
Yeah.
jujikatami
Yes.
up here by the neck.
Uh-huh.
I don't it's not it would be like a reverse of the hitchhiker.
Yeah.
You turn your thumb the other way and then push the leg off And the way I come up is important. Some people just push it off, they still get armbarred.
Yeah.
You have to bridge towards the guy's legs to kill his hips, and the armbar goes away.
Right.
So I don't know how to find it, but there's somewhere in my channel it's there.
Is it similar to the escape that Nicky Rod did against this Big Dan Manasu
People
guy?
people have done it. I
Like
don't know
kind
if
of
I've seen
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Not that kind.
Oh, okay.
It is like this,
Yeah.
but it's not like what
I know what you mean. Like you get to the opposite side and like collapse the legs. Yeah.
yeah, and
You
that's the
almost go
only way to go.
towards
You
him.
can't
Yeah.
hitchhike. You
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
hitchhike anymore. You have to go the other way.
Right.
Um, you know, so it's complicated. We kind of have to get on the mat to
No,
go
I
through.
understand. Yeah.
But
Yeah. But what do you think about like the guillotine mechanisms? Like, there's been this thing about like, you gotta like crunch towards the side, and
yeah,
that is the new meta right now.
yeah,
But there's like old school people who are like just go straight and stuff. Yeah.
yeah. This
I
grip is
always be
very.
yeah,
This grip is now, in my opinion, with the Armin guillotine is arguably the best grip.
Armin guillotine.
For
Yeah.
Armin guillotine, not the regular, but the
Uh-huh.
reverse cable. This is very hard. You get more power out of it.
Okay.
With the crunch, it's very powerful. Yeah, once I felt that, it's the most powerful grip. It may not work for everybody's body types, but it's very powerful. I feel like I can escape every guillotine. But that guillotine, if you let it go too far, it's not easy. It's very hard.
What,
I
what do you what do you think about the Kron Gracie style of guillotine? Like when
I
he
don't
got
know.
like Marcelo Garcia, like he never goes for the new age, like this kind of stuff, but like he got a lot of people in that type of guillotine, like where he just like
Yeah,
goes straight with the full guard. But I think there's a little tweak to it. Um, but and sometimes he just like gets the guillotine where like he puts the head in his belly button and then like does something like
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that's a good one too. It all works. It all works. There's just different ways to do it. When people shit on the old school guillotine, I
yeah,
I still say no, don't, because that still works.
yeah, but the
But
head might pop out. Yeah,
the head might pop out. But also the problem is people who drive forward
yeah,
will fatigue you. Now,
right,
if you have a high level arch and a high level pull, and you're fresh, it could be lights out. You may not
right,
have enough. You may not be able to weather that storm.
right.
But if a guy is slightly fatigued and I'm early enough to reach over the shoulder and drive forward with my shoulder,
One flew. Yeah,
usually it will defeat the old school guillotine.
right, right,
That kind of defense, which everyone teaches, including the Gracies,
right,
um, that will defend the majority of guillotines. But the problem is, it's not. It's not when you're fighting the guillotine. You aren't just fighting the guillotine. You're fighting the opponent's guillotine. If
right.
it's Kron Gracie doing it, it's next level. It's a lot harder.
Yeah,
So there's different. He has muscles that he's been working on his whole
correct.
life,
Yeah,
and so that needs to be said, and that's true of every move. You
yeah,
know, we talk about escaping rear naked chokes and this and that, but it's a whole nother thing to defend Marcelo Garcia's rear naked choke or Marcelo Garcia's
guillotine.
guillotine
Yeah,
or north south choke.
yeah,
It's just it's when they're the ones doing it, it is a different thing,
right.
and that's important to say. You know, so that's also should have been put in that basket earlier on the discussion of Rickson escaping. Rickson's going to escape 99% of people,
Yeah,
but if you put Marcelo Garcia on his back, he may not get out of that.
yeah.
And that's
We
okay.
never know. Yeah, yeah,
That's okay. And
yeah,
and even though I do think Rickson's incredible,
yeah.
but Marcelo's also incredible, and it's the unstoppable force
This is
versus the
immovable. Yeah,
immovable object.
yeah.
And what's going to happen, right?
But
But
but but when I was talking to Henry, he said like the confidence that Rickson had, like I wouldn't. Okay, I don't believe like Marcelo would be like, okay, Gordon Ryan, come over to my gym, get me in an armbar, let's see how it goes. But Hickson
Yeah.
would do that. If he said like if Hickson is like functional now, like if you bring
Yes.
prime Hickson now, he'd be like, okay, who's the best guy now? Gordon Ryan. Okay,
But
Gordon, why don't we train? Come over. Let's see.
there is a difference though. I'm not gonna go full Keenan Cornelius.
Yeah,
Keenan Cornelius
yeah.
saying
Purple
the
belt. Yeah,
the comment of the purple belts,
yeah,
that's ridiculous.
yeah,
That's ridiculous. But today's best jiu-jitsu guys would defeat in a sport competition,
yeah,
sport grappling,
yeah.
under the current rule sets,
Rule says
they would defeat the old guys.
no,
But
no. That's what
pound for
Henry
pound,
said. Like no points, just like submission. Yeah,
right? No, and I agree with that. But let's say it's no points, no time limit.
some weird leg entanglement. Yeah,
But no, Craig Jones and Prime Hickson. Craig Jones is gonna heel hook Hickson.
yeah.
It's
That's what I think. Like,
it's not it's not fair because
yeah, to
Hickson
compare.
doesn't have that training at all. He might
Yeah,
know leg locks. I'm not saying he doesn't know leg locks.
yeah, but not the intricate, like
it's too
openings and
yes.
yeah, right.
It's
You're right.
it's a different time.
It's a
So
different world. Yeah.
in that regard, I have to give it to the young guys, but I totally disagree with Keenan Cornelius thinking that no, today's purple belts, I don't care if they're the purple belt world champions.
Yeah.
BJ Penn would run right through them.
You're right.
BJ Penn was so far, and they don't even understand it. It's BJ Penn is a perfect example. I don't know why he popped in my head, but perfect example of a guy of his day, after Hickson's era, but totally pre New Age era.
Right.
That I would say is not highly technical. Not John Danaher technical.
Yeah.
But he's a ferocious beast of a fighter.
Yeah.
That's what BJ Penn is.
Yeah.
BJ Penn is a warrior.
Yeah.
The mind, he's got the warrior's mind, and he will rip your head off.
Yeah.
And in the day, he was very technical.
Yeah.
We all called him technical, but he didn't think about technique. He think about killing someone.
Right. Right.
And I say that firsthand. I got to train with him in 2007.
Yeah, he basically
yeah. But I was upset that he wasn't being technical,
so that you could learn something from it. Yeah, that's what you told me. Yeah.
Instead, he just doesn't. He just
bulldozed.
He just eats.
Yeah.
Just like I'm going to eat today. This is how I eat.
But I think it's largely attributed to the half Gracie because that is his lineage, right? So half is like, I don't care, like
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not getting the accent right now, but he's like, yes. I'm gonna like eat you, like rip your head off. They don't care about like technique. Who's gonna rip whose head off? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, BJ Penn in his prime. I mean, he was like pretty inconsistent, but he like the most perfect BJ Penn. He was scary. And also, like, speaking of which, I got reminded of another story that Henry told me. Again, I'm not gonna name names, and I'll tell you after the off record. So there's this guy. I'm so tempted to say his name, but I'm gonna say, okay. He is a UFC fighter, like former, like BJ Penn's time. I think like I don't know if he was a champion or not. I'm not sure about it. So he rolled with Hickson.
Yeah, Damian Maia.
No, not Damian Maia. They are like respectful. Like Damian Maia would come out and say like Hickson beat the fuck out of me. He respects. Yeah. This guy did not like Hickson. I'll tell you who. Okay, the last name is the name of a famous scientist. Okay, like famous physicist. That's all I can say as of now. Okay. So this guy apparently like rolled with Hickson, and then like Hickson got him in an armbar, and then he just like picked up Hickson and tried to slam him. So Hickson opened the guard, and then like he fell down before he was slammed. And then like Hickson was like, motherfucker. And then like he got him again, boom, And then this time Rickson was like, I ain't like letting you go. And then he caught me an armbar, and then like this guy had to scream to like make him let go. And I was like, that guy, are you?
Hmm.
I was like, Jesus. Because if that guy is an MMA fight, he's ferocious. Like he would,
Hmm.
I don't care if it's Rickson, he would just like stomp Rickson on his face and like walk away. He's that kind of a dude. I was like, dang. Phew.
Hmm.
And then like he went to, I think like this was said by Craig Jones in the B Team podcast. So he said like Rickson came over to Absolute MMA or like jiu-jitsu in Australia, like
Hmm.
Lachlan Giles. Yeah.
Lachlan Giles, yeah.
Lachlan Giles, sorry. And then like there was this seminar where he was like showing his mount escape.
Mm.
Where he does the stiff arm and then like he just like launches people in the air. So it's like a
Hmm.
connection based thing where he puts his fist like his stiff arm in your hip, and he uses his legs to like uh kind of like a hip escape. It's like complete connection, and like he presses off of the ground, and like all the connection goes through his body, through his hand, and into your body, and like it's unseen.
Yeah.
And he was like, he picked the best guys, and he was like, and Craig Jones was like, I am not confident in any single one of my techniques where I would be like, okay, there's like
Hmm.
200 people here, there's cameras, and like somebody like take mount on me, I'm gonna escape. And he was like, he's a fucking G. And then like he did that with Cobrinha once, and
Hmm.
he was like talking about that and stuff, and he was like, this is why Rickson is like Rickson. Like I would never in a
Yeah.
hundred years have that the guts to do so. And
Yeah.
yeah, just adding a little
Very, very unique. Very unique.
very unique.
One of
It's
a
a
kind.
travesty that we didn't get to see that. Like that's why I envy Henry, and because
Yeah.
I used to be in this online group where we
Hmm.
like ask him questions and stuff, and that's how. So, one last question before I let you go. What do you think about like the upcoming like prodigies like after Gordon? Like, is it gonna be like Mika or like Cade or
I like Tackett. I like the Tackett brothers personally.
yeah,
I think they're on the right track. I think the Rotolos are interesting. The I'm not against them, but there's parts of their style that I don't like. But I like the Tackett brothers more.
yeah?
So
I think like Andrew Tackett is more interesting. Yeah.
mm,
What do you think about
yeah,
Mika Galbo? Mika?
Mika looks great. I mean, he looks great. I wish that my feelings are. I believe he's on some type of performance enhancement, right?
Yeah, just like everybody. Yeah.
I wish people wouldn't do that, but I don't, I wonder how many people are actually on it. What are your thoughts? I
I
don't have
think
an
like
opinion. Is
almost
it half
everybody in the yeah.
or is it all? Do you think it's like
I
90%?
think Kanan, Craig Jones admitted that like he
Yeah.
openly admitted that he does.
Yes.
Gordon does.
His body has changed so much. Yeah. Gordon,
Yeah,
obviously.
Gordon
I,
does. And I
but
think the
Nicky
Rotolo
Rod claims
brothers
he's
who
Nicky Rod.
yeah,
And I believe him.
yes.
I believe him. It's possible.
Yeah,
To
he
me,
might be a natural athlete.
he
Yeah.
looks like a big guy. Like to me, Gordon, we know what he's supposed to look like because we see what he looked like before, and he was growing. He was a grown man.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying one way or another on Nicky Rod. I just take him at his word because he was already a big guy.
Yeah.
And but I wonder what the percentage is. What do you think? It's like
I think like
60%?
it's almost like 85%,
Really?
really, really. Jiu-jitsu, look at Galwao, Andre Galwao.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Definitely.
but we're also naming a lot of the top guys. How many of guys underneath? I know there's a lot. I would like to at least think that it's only half. Do you think more than half? Like if
This
you
is my personal
CJI
opinion. I would like to be
ADCC.
optimistic, but I think it's more than half. Like Mika doesn't
Wow.
look like it. He's like looks like a baby, but he was busted for
Yeah, yeah. So I like Mika Gava. I think he's incredible, but I just wish that that wasn't there because I feel like it taints a lot of the success and how good I think they are. I
but considering that almost everybody you face is on steroids, now it's equalized, right? Like
It's equal, but
I mean, I
yeah,
understand what you mean, because
but
it's not you,
then
it's you plus something else.
but then what happens is, here's what happens. You can't have another Marcelo Garcia,
Correct.
because when you do that, when everybody's on it, the focus on the sport is to
Yes.
be that high powered athlete,
Yes.
and then you don't need to be a Marcelo Garcia.
Yeah.
You know, do you think Levi Jones Leary?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because there are certain people that you could just look
But
at them and
Lachlan
like, this
Giles
guy is on
was.
all kinds of bomba. You know what I'm saying?
Lachlan Giles did.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could tell. I could see it in him.
Even like Coach Firas Zahabi in his podcast, he said like, because of steroids, I tell my students this is like technique, A level technique, this is B level technique. This only works if you're strong, if you're on steroids.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't think of the Rutola brothers as like real jiu-jitsu guys, because it's more based off of their physical attributes and not like pure sheer technique. But he thinks Gordon's technique is really pristine, but and him being like powered by all these substances, it's making him like an unstoppable monster.
I agree with that. I think so. But I do think that Nicky Rod would beat him. But
Eventually, maybe, yeah.
I
Right?
think he would beat him now and of probably a year and a half ago. But I you know, I don't see. I like Gordon. I think he's amazing. Obviously, I don't think he's the best. I don't think.
Really?
No, he's not. But he's just really
Who do you think is the best? Like,
he's
just
really good. But he's big. You know how many little guys that are probably way better than Gordon, but they're just not heavyweights. If we're talking
yeah,
about better at jujitsu,
pound
not
for
even
pound.
close. Not even close. He's not even in my top 10.
Who do you think is like a
Gordon,
pound for pound like best guy?
Halfa Mendez.
Ah, but that's the different generation. Yeah, I understand what
You
you mean.
want? Oh, you want right now?
Yeah.
All right, Tackett's. The Tackett brothers are better.
What about Mika? Like, he beat both the
Mika,
Tackett brothers. Yeah.
yeah, Mika Galval's better.
Dante Leon.
Uh, who?
Dante
Yeah,
Leon.
I like him. I haven't watched a lot. I'm a little
Oh,
behind.
oh, 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 sorry. What do you think about Giancarlo Bodoni?
Looks like he's very good. They're very good. They're incredible.
Yeah.
But they're big guys. I'm prejudiced against big guys.
Okay. Yeah.
I
I mean,
just
he is
am.
like 88 kg, like plus 88 division.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the moment I see some guys on steroids, I can't.
Is he on steroids? I don't know.
He
Maybe.
looks swollen to me.
Yeah.
But I just don't. It doesn't excite me at all.
Yeah.
So I do you think the Tackets are on steroids? They don't look like it to me.
They
But I
don't. I
can't.
mean,
But you can't always tell by
yeah.
looks.
Even Mika
So
doesn't look like he's on steroids. He looks like a baby, but he was
um,
busted. So
but he does look pretty. He's changed
he's changed. Yeah.
since he was younger. And I know when he was like 19, 18,
Yeah.
19, you're gonna change a little bit to your
Yeah.
early 20s. But
Yeah.
how old is he now? Like 24,
He's 21.
21? See, I've already lost track of time. Um, so he's gonna change. So maybe I'm wrong, but
I've told my friends, and they refuse to believe that I'm older than Gordon, Nicky Rod, and Josh Souders, because they look way more mature and like,
yeah,
older. I think that's like,
you're not full grown yet.
that's true.
Neither
And
am I.
yeah, and also I think it's because of that TRT powered
Yeah,
maturity.
yeah. Everyone, says that Gordon looks like he's a grandpa.
And
You
that's
know,
because he just dyes his hair white like a stupid guy. But like
yeah.
without the beard, he looks probably in his early 30s. And there is like a video of Gordon like recently where he endorses using steroids. I don't know if you saw that, like on his channel. He said like, if you want to become the best of the best, you don't need steroids. But if you want to become the best version of yourself, if you're competing against yourself like I do, then you need steroids. Because imagine like how many people are paying their money to watch high level athletes perform, like in the NBA or whatever. So they just want to see super athletes being, he said like, I would rather die at 40 accomplishing everything rather than living a normal healthy life and dying at 70. And I was like, bro, okay, okay.
I think that's terrible. I think
Yeah,
that's terrible. The ripple effect, that's a very selfish thing to say. It can sound great, like he cares more about, how you spend your life doing, accomplishing all these great things. But, and I get that, better to burn out than to fade away, is this old saying in the song. But the ripple effect that it would have on so many people, the unhealthiness of what happens to the youth, to
right.
me, I don't agree with. So I whatever. I feel it's better to inspire the
Stay
world
natty.
in
Yeah.
a very healthy way. I'm not a super healthy guy myself, but
You don't want to, like mess it up even more. That's what you say. Like,
I think it's bad for the sport. To
right.
me, it's like bodybuilding. When
Right.
bodybuilding
Oh,
entered
he
with
mentioned that as well. So
steroid,
you're gonna tell Arnold Schwarzenegger that he's not a real bodybuilder, and look at
yeah,
him, he's in his 80s doing fine.
yeah, I am saying that. I'm saying that when Arnold Schwarzenegger was in the 70s and became Mr. Olympia, I I think that was the death of natural bodybuilding. And I think that there's great parts to it. Yeah, we get to see guys with bigger muscles, but you know, is it really the best jujitsu?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think if you want to see the best jujitsu, I think you watch Marcelo Garcia.
Yeah. No, but
In
Gordon said like I beat the best of the best even before I was on steroids. So it's not because of the steroids that I'm winning. I'm just like trying to show what the best I can do with this body that I have. It's not like beating guys, it's just beating myself, my past self. But I don't buy it because like he's the like might is right. He's just the greatest. So whatever
yeah,
he says is the gospel now. But you being a jiu-jitsu coach, it is saddening because you now know that if your students ever want to like compete at the highest of the highest, they cannot do it without Jews being
and
in their system.
I have students that want to become champions.
That's what I'm
Not
saying.
a lot. I do have them, and every day we talk about it.
Yeah.
Like we not about steroids, but we talk about becoming the best. And if that's the truth, which it may be, I think it's very unfortunate because I'm not going to promote it,
Yeah.
even if it means, in other words, my student may have to leave my gym in order to go and join B team or whatever, and that way he can blossom further with performance enhancing drugs. Because I'm not going to promote it. What a good question for me would be, what would I say if a student wanted to do it?
I mean, but
It's a difficult position.
do do you even have a say? Like, you could just say that you can do whatever. I suggest that you don't do it, but like would he still be okay? This is my question to you. Like, would he still be your student if he chooses to?
That's the question I'm asking myself. Yeah, you just asked it. My feeling is I believe he could do whatever he wants, but I don't condone it. It's
Against your like personal belief system.
yeah, and I don't want it to enter. Think about it. Then it reflects on my gym.
Yeah.
Let's just say that my student is wins some type of bigger competition, and then gets flagged for steroids, and it goes public. Now now people say over at Peterson Grapplers they do
No,
that.
sorry to cut you, but my question is, okay, I should have made it, made more, clarity with the question. what I'm saying is like, if would you endorse your student, or would you be okay with your student doing steroids and he competes in the events that do not flag people for steroids, where it's like legal, basically, where it's like
Yeah,
legal.
but even no. Okay, yeah, let's say it's legal then. So it's not a disqualification or anything. Let's say it's legal, but it kind of goes public. It still reflects on my gym. I don't know the answer. I'm
Right.
kind of okay with it. I've had students that have taken steroids, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Some of them, like I have a student that I know must take something. I could tell.
Right.
I'm not opposed to it. I understand. He admits that he's taking something. I don't know how I feel because maybe I'm changing. I If they want to do it, it's fine. I definitely, if they're going to compete in a competition that uh
Flags people for steroids.
flags people for steroids,
Yeah.
I
Then
don't like it.
yeah.
Then it's
Obviously, it's a no-no. Yeah.
then now we're cheating just the same as if we uh poke a guy in the eye or grab
Right.
a guy's balls.
Right.
You know, we're cheating.
I know
Um,
what you mean. Yeah.
but if it's legal, I guess it's fine.
That's what
I
Gordon's
just
saying. It's legal. Like, he was like basically calling the people who accuse him for being on steroids, you morons, it's legal. I'm not doing something that's not illegal. I am not doing IBJJF. I am doing steroids in a sport, in an event that's filled with athletes that also do steroids, and it's almost like it's an open secret and nobody cares about it. So it's legal
yeah,
in jiu-jitsu. So I'm doing something that's legal. So I mean,
right.
but props to him for admitting that he's on steroids. At least not
I
not a lot of people do
Yeah,
that,
I agree with that. I agree with that. Props to him for at least
because
admitting it.
knowing that it could
But what about
potentially tarnish his legacy.
I don't know a lot about steroids. I've never taken anything in my life.
Me neither. Yeah,
When I
that's
was
why I look
younger,
like this.
there was plenty of people who probably thought that I might have been on something. I'm sure some people probably thought that because
Yeah,
I'm stronger than them
yeah,
or whatever, you know. But especially in jiu-jitsu world, the jiu-jitsu world of the 90s and 2000s, they were so weak that a
yeah.
lot of jiu-jitsu guys were trying to be so technical that
Scrawny and yeah,
they just didn't train like wrestlers. Now
yeah,
everybody does.
yeah.
Um, but what I wanted to say was, what about this hypothetical? Like I mentioned the ripple effect of what it does to the people that watch, the children and the young guys that are coming up. They now want to use performance enhancing drugs because they think that's the only way. I don't know how much I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to support that.
Correct.
And then what about this? Here's another reason. Like I'm gonna make it up, even though I don't know much about steroids or performance enhancing drugs. But what about Gordon takes X in order to make his body tip top level?
Yeah,
What about when the next guy, Nicky Rod, let's say, takes the next level steroids,
yeah.
and then it's an arms race of steroids, and now Gordon is losing because they found a chemist that got them even next level.
Yeah.
Now it's looking like arm wrestling. You've seen those Georgian arm wrestlers.
Question. I understand what you mean, like completely, but do steroids work that way, or is just like, is it like, do you have like qualities in steroids, or is just like a quantity, because it's just testosterone, right? So is there something like a high quality testosterone, or like a,
I don't know. I'm just making it up hypothetically, but this
yeah,
is a slippery slope of where you get. So Gordon's here now. Gordon's here. The next guy's here.
yeah,
Now Gordon wants to do this,
yeah,
and now everybody goes up here,
goes up here,
and
yeah.
then another guy goes here, and what? Why are we doing this? This is spiraling into like
You know why?
again.
Because there's like millions of dollars being involved as of now. Like how much like Nicky Rod and like Kate Rutolo made out of CJI. So since like money is being like poured into the industry, and obviously people want to see action and like who is the best pound for pound grappler. Obviously, like all sorts of like bomba is gonna like come into the sports. Considering that there is no governing body that flags, I mean,
Yeah.
excluding ABJJF.
What happens if you teach high level jujitsu for 10 years to a character like the Mountain?
That's it.
It
But question is, does Mountain have the would Mountain ever get the grappling acumen that a scrawny guy would get and then get bigger? Because Mountain is already big, right? So he wouldn't get he wouldn't even get the idea of like technique and leverage, because whatever he
why
does,
not
he's just
just
gonna fly off.
why not just give him John Danaher for 10 years? Like why not?
True.
Why not do the experiment with Gordon Ryan's son? When Gordon Ryan has a son, he's going to be training jiu-jitsu since he's 5.
Yeah.
Um why not just take him once he turns 18
Yeah.
and then pump him full of every bit of and by the way, Gordon's also going to have a child with the largest woman on the planet, right? I'm just making up shit, but
I understand.
my point
With
is,
Gabi Garcia. I'm
yeah,
just kidding.
yeah, they have a baby,
Yeah.
but my point is that like it, in the same way as bodybuilding has turned into ridiculousness.
Yeah.
If you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger, that was the beginning. If
Right.
you look at the guys now, have you seen the bodybuilders now? How they
I don't
look?
follow. Yeah, I don't follow them. Yeah.
I don't follow it really well either, but I know that they look even like more like a monster. Like they
Monster.
just
Yes.
look
Yes.
like imagine jujitsu starts to look like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because the truth is, if a guy like the Mountain, I just keep using his name, which I don't even know his name, Bjorn, whatever it is,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
the
Johansson, something like that. Yeah.
Johansson, whatever.
Yeah.
But if you teach a guy enough jujitsu, Gordon's not going to take him down.
Yeah.
And if he knows how to stay out of heel hooks, he can learn to just grab and control and stay out of
Control.
that.
Yeah.
Remember, when those little clips of him rolling with Gordon, that's with him knowing minimal.
Nothing.
You
Yeah.
know,
Correct. Yes.
is someone that, if
That's
I
why
was in that,
Helio Gracie said, "Don't teach a big man jujitsu."
you put me in his body and
That's
I'm
it. Yeah.
sorry, but
You're
it's
gonna beat
not,
him.
yeah, I will use my body weight.
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
not going to work.
Yeah.
I know obviously there is some other factors. Being big and strong is not everything. But when it's significantly big and strong, you know, it matters. So
Yeah. I understand. But is there a like this is like a very personal question, like just for myself. I am almost 30 right now, and the last competition I did was an event called like Kumite, where it's like a super fight. You just like perform in front of a theater, in front of like some drunk dudes, and I
yeah,
I won, and that's it's on YouTube. You can watch like
congrats.
yeah, thanks, man. The guy was like 20 pounds heavier than I was, and I managed to get the W. But now I'm like trying to manage work and like training and stuff, and I'm literally trying to give everything for jiu-jitsu. I study a lot. I try to understand jiu-jitsu on another level, but I had the shoulder injury, which is, I mean, I think like everybody has it. Like, something is fucked up when you do jiu-jitsu. So, like, I mean, I'm not in California, so like training with you is like you like out of the radar right now. But here I have like 10th Planet, a jiu-jitsu, but it's like I have to dedicate a lot of time. So do you think if I start to train, if I get my out of the gym training shit well organized, and I could like dedicate the time and effort for jujitsu, you think I could still get to somewhere high level like after 30? I mean, I didn't start jujitsu after 30, so I don't even want to feel like I'm starting jujitsu or anything like that. But like in a high level, competition or something, I still feel like young and like fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you 100% can, I
Yeah,
believe. Um, there could always be things that hold people back, and we can't always put our finger on it. But the one thing that we can control is our training. We can go to train.
yeah,
If someone can teach you how to not get hurt,
yeah,
safety, your body will last longer.
yeah,
Um, there's the good diet part and sleep and all that. That's great.
yeah,
But I believe, you just need the right coach that
yeah,
can help you excel.
yeah.
I'm not perfect for everyone, but
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I'm not
right coach
perfect.
for me. Yeah,
I'm not perfect, but I do believe that I can do better than average.
yes,
I think I'm better than the average coach.
right.
If
We all
I'm
think that.
better, if I'm better than the average coach, I'm going to get better athletes um, on average. And so I certainly think you can. If I can help you, someone else, there's probably other great instructors that can help you. And if you put the effort in, I don't see why not. I mean, like I didn't have the perfect road at all. Like I didn't learn from any well-known instructors.
Yeah,
I just trained a lot and seeked out whatever information I could.
yeah,
Um, Obviously there could be something unique about me, which I've always said I think it's just my knack for memorization of techniques,
yeah,
absorbing because I've met other people that don't seem to remember things. They only have 5 things they can hold on to, and I might have 25
yeah.
so that I can hold on to. That's my gift. But other than that, um, I I'm pretty average. So why can't you? Why not? You know, especially if someone shows you the way. Because I didn't even
Yeah.
have somebody really showing me the way all that much.
Right. I know you're like
Um,
I know your history, your lineage. You got it from like Felicia O, right? So I mean, you just like learned a lot by yourself, and like you just wanted somebody to officially hand you a black belt. That's it.
but
But
it wasn't, yeah, but I never even sought that out. It was more that she came to train with me, and because she heard about that I was pretty good. And then when we trained together, we became training partners. We were together for a little while, and then we broke up, but we were still very good friends.
mm,
And it just, I was at a gym with a lot of different black belts, and they just said we got to do this because we have this instructor that doesn't have an official lineage, and
right.
so they gave me a black belt. But um, you know, yeah, I mean, I I owe a lot of myself to Robert Ferguson,
Yeah.
even though I don't, um, I may not respect everything about him. Uh, he still was a very good teacher, and he did know a lot more than people gave him credit for. He
Mm,
knew a lot more than what people thought he knew.
right.
Um, you know, so uh, yeah,
It was amazing as ever, as
yeah.
always.
Thank you.
To do this part three with you, with all the new age stuff that we had to catch up on,
I hope
since
I hope in the future I can pay more attention. I'm trying to position myself in 2025 that I'm not working so much on the gym. I want to position myself so I can have freedom a little bit in my life because it's 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 taking a toll. Jiu-jitsu has taken a big toll on me. The gym has taken a toll on me, and now my issue with my head. I just I'd rather move on in my life a little bit and get to a place where I'm not running the gym all the time so I can teach, focus on my athletes, and pay more attention to modern day jiu-jitsu competitions as well as MMA. So
Would you ever want to like start something online like BJJ Fanatics or like a online forum where people can like talk to you and like ask you questions and stuff, and you could like make
maybe,
money out of it, like a new avenue of revenue? And I'm saying,
maybe, you know, a couple times I've, I was asked by BJJ Fanatics going back 6 years ago, whenever they started, 5, 6 years
yeah, yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah.
I was asked back then to do it. I didn't do it. I waited 2 years. I contacted them and said, "Hey, does the offer still stand?" They said, "Yes, we would love to have you." I said, "Okay." And then I never did it.
Why
I
not?
kept,
Yeah. You could
I
make
just,
like passive income. You know what I'm
I
saying?
know, but I just kept thinking about it. Like I'm doing Teach Me Grappling. I give it away for free. I never felt comfortable selling it like that. Although I do obviously make money off of YouTube with my ad, with the basic YouTube ads. I do sell some product every now and again. Maybe a speed dummy from Suples, or
Yeah.
somebody will buy my t-shirts or my rash guards or something from my website. But um and I thank everyone for that. I still get donations and all that, but I don't give them what I used to give them. I used to give them more of me. Um I hope in 2025 I I'm positioning myself where I've made enough money outside the gym with my investments, um, that I hope to be able to hire someone to do all my work so that I can do
Get
the
some
things
freedom.
that get some freedom and do the things that I want to do, which is teach and help people.
Yeah.
My youth wrestling, I'm a high school wrestling coach, I'm an MMA coach, and I'm a jiu-jitsu coach. So I want to continue to do that and focus on that more than, you know, signing people up, you know, ordering inventory and,
Yeah.
just the business part, especially with this gym, it's grown a ton, but I
You mean the
still don't really,
merchandise?
I still don't make money. So
Yeah.
we're, I'm not that guy that tries to capitalize on every little thing, but so I don't make a ton of money with the gym, but I do have a lot of employees that I'm supporting, that I am paying, so,
Right.
and that's important to me. Taking care of my friends. I just don't care. But you mentioned like maybe someday I could do something online. Sure. I'm all for it.
No, yeah. I
I
I
don't
would.
care. Money is not my goal. Money's not my goal.
I understand.
I've already made plenty of money in the stock market. So I'm trying to position myself where I'm set for life and I don't have to worry about money at all. And that way I can do the things that I love, which is help people.
I
So
understand. And also like work on your health to getting
yeah,
back to where you
yeah, I need
were.
to
You know
get
what I'm
in better
saying?
shape. I'm so fat right now. This is the
No, I mean
fattest.
like the the memory stuff and
I
all those.
know, I
Yeah.
know, but that goes with it too. Everything,
Yeah.
keeping my body healthy, um, my brain healthy, getting more
I mean,
rest.
you look fantastic for your age. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you teach and stuff. Like you look very functional and
Yeah,
you know,
I have, I have a nagging shoulder injury, but this shoulder I can still move it really good.
my
But
left shoulder like pops out like
yeah,
frequently. Yeah.
I can't lift weights with it very strong.
Me neither.
So
Yeah.
in grappling, I can move, I can demonstrate. My knee, my surgery knee is good. My other knee is not so good, but it's good enough to be able to demonstrate everything. I just don't, and that's also why I don't train and roll, because I know that it's only a matter of time. Even if I play very defensive,
Yeah.
it's just,
Before.
I just want to be active. I don't want to compete with anybody.
Right.
I just want to be active and I want to spread what I know and help people.
Yeah.
So,
The reason I was like pushing towards the money part was like, because like you know how much like Henry makes, you know, because like he constantly has this emails like, you know, hey, buy this, buy that, and all the stuff. And like the way, I mean, he's
I've
great,
heard, but
but the hidden jujitsu, the way he names it, like, you know,
he's
makes,
it's great marketing. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think like you could do that. You have the credibility to do so.
I believe so too, but it's me. This is my personality, but it's real. I don't fake it. This is me. And because I've gone this way with like poor man's John Danaher channel, whatever,
Yeah,
the poor man's John Danaher, if
that's
that's what
my
I am,
coinage.
I'm just gonna keep running with it. I think I'm at a point now where I see the end is that because like I said, I think a lot of people they need to make money in jujitsu. That's their way of making it. For me, fortunately, my investments have paid off very well outside of the jujitsu world. So to me, jujitsu is going to be my hobby, and
Passion.
it
Yeah.
always, I like it better that way because if jujitsu is my money maker, then it means that I could be slightly unethical. I could be, I could do things for the wrong reasons.
Mm.
What I would feel is the wrong reasons. There's nothing wrong with being a capitalist. I make money, but I definitely try to not screw anyone over, and I never want anybody ever saying anything that I I did them wrong in any way and didn't bring value to the table. I That's really important to me.
I
So
understand. Yeah.
so um but I'm fortunate to be in my position. I understand if someone had a wife and kids. I have no wife and kids.
Right.
I,
So
I,
yeah.
I don't have those pressures. I can only imagine if I had a wife and a kid and three kids, I would be under so much pressure to
Yeah.
sell everything that I do. You know, I don't have a problem on a Sunday evening talking to you.
Right.
It's
Right.
fun for me.
Right.
I'm not the guy that's gonna, I just had I don't remember if it was William or Andrew, but one of the Tackett brothers was
Uh-huh.
coming out to California
Mm-hmm.
to do a seminar tour, and one of them, they got their it's their prerogative. They have their level of what they needed. I attempted a negotiation of saying, "Hey, look, why don't we do a seminar at my place and
Right. Uh-huh.
you got, maybe let's do a little split where you get like 90% of what I bring in."
Mm-hmm.
It would have been money for them, but
Right.
they have their standard of
Yeah.
no, you must give me X amount of dollars. And so we didn't make it work.
Right.
And that's fine. But that's the way the majority of jiu-jitsu world is. I'm not that way. And it's not to say that they're bad people. I
Right.
think I think they're very nice people, but
When it
everybody
comes to
has
money, yeah.
I don't
People.
I'm just it just reminds me that I don't want to be that way. I would love to do seminars all over the world. There's people who've asked me here or there, but I I'm not trying to make a lot of money in jujitsu.
In
I
jiu-jitsu.
don't want to. I'd rather give it away.
I mean, you consider this more as a service,
Yeah, I
right?
do. And
Where's your current gym at?
we're in Valencia, California. We're about 4 hours from you.
From Vegas. Oh,
Yeah,
4 hours.
we're
Yeah,
four hours.
I would visit you sometime, you know,
Yeah,
just like a drop in class or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're always welcome,
I've never trained with you, so I would love to do that in person.
and you don't have to pay a dime. You're welcome to come. So
Appreciate it.
yeah,
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your
yeah,
time, and it's always a pleasure to have you on my podcast on my channel.
yeah.
Yeah, you know, if, you know, at least for there's like a certain group of, I mean, like in my audience, there's like a bunch of people that I personally know of that like to see you and me like talk about jiu-jitsu all day long. So I think it's gonna be a treat for them again. And
Nice.
yeah, let's do it again. You know, when we catch up with more like more, you know, future new age stuff. You know,
Yeah,
and also like I wish you all the best with your gym, your business, and most importantly, your health, because that is everything, I'm saying, with, you know, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I really appreciate that, Varun. Thank you so much for having me. And anytime,
my
anytime.
pleasure.
So,
Yes, yes,
all
sir.
right.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see you. Bye bye.